Hello everybody, James here and welcome to Shard TCG, and today we are looking at 5 new broken cards coming out in set 2. Now when I say broken cards, I mean cards that challenge the rules of the game as we know it. One or two of these cards may seem overpowered, but really they are just effects that think a little outside the box, because we don't want to release a whole new set to just have a bunch of cards that do the same thing as the last set. So let's dive in with Mana Mine. Now Mana Mine is definitely a whole new kind of spell card that is going to add a fresh feel to the game and how spells operate in Shard TCG. Now for too long, spells have been victims to spell breakers and other combat spells. Well, here is a spell that says enough is enough. Mana Mine has the Tormentor title, which was exclusively a title for creatures, and it will force any spellbreaker creature to target this spell when your opponent declares an attack with it. It will also make your opponent have to target this spell with any spell destructive cards first. So Mana Mine turns defense into offense as it reads. When this spell is destroyed by a creature, inflict 5 arcane damage to the creature. When the spell is destroyed by another spell, target an opponent. Deal 5 arcane damage to the opponent's life. This new breed of spell will be a great addition to anyone's deck for protecting other channel spells and rituals on the field. Now I believe this spell is also the first step to paving the way for creatureless decks. We look forward to adding more spells that will complement this one, and when we release them, it will be fantastic to watch what some of you guys will do with this new power. Moving on to Mask of Mockery, a cursed mask that can bind to creatures or cloaked creatures. Now where the spell can get interesting is that it can strip the cloak title from a creature, which is excellent to reveal hidden creatures on the field and destroy them. And in case that wasn't enough, it will also add the Tormentor title to the creatures, so it will become a priority target when you declare an attack on your opponent's little beasties. In addition, it also adds the Nether element to the creature, so this can be a useful binding spell in Nether focused decks. The Hycillion takes the Quake element's focus on splash damage to the next level. Now for the people that don't know what splash damage is in Shard TCG, when a creature with a splash action, like what we can see under the Hycillion's shockwave attack, targets a creature, the 2 adjacent creatures will also receive the same amount of damage. Now this is what makes positioning on the field very important, because you can pad out your weaker creatures with higher health creatures to reduce the efficiency of splash attack. But the Hycillion has a new effect called Specialist Predator. During the combat phase, sleep this creature, target a creature species, deal 2 damage of this creature's element to all target creatures. So say your opponent has several creatures on the field all with the same creature name, but they have other larger creatures between them. Your splash damage isn't going to be able to target all of these low level creatures. But using Specialist Predator by sleeping the Hycillion, all you have to do is then declare the creature's name and it will inflict the damage on all those creatures no matter what their position on the field is. Now this gives the Hycillion a huge edge on other splash damage creatures. Because of its targeting being more specialized, it can take out a lot more of the smaller creatures more easily, and technically it isn't even an attack. This is something we might have to revise later to say that it is classed as an attack in case this effect does become a game breaking effect. But the question mark is at the moment, in its current state, is this card game breaking? Well, it is something we've never done before, so we'll just have to wait and see. And speaking of taking Splash to a whole new level, we move on to Focus Power. Focus Power is a one-off cast spell that removes the splash action effect. But the massive thing with this spell is that for the first time we have put in a multiplied damage instead of additional damage. Our first thought is to multiply the damage by 3 because that is the maximum Splash can do when targeting a creature with 2 adjacent creatures. But it just seemed far too strong, so we changed it to a ×2 multiplier. So your creature's damage is doubled during the combat phase. Now the highest damage we have currently in the game is 10. But Focus Power will shatter that limit in set 2 for the mere cost of 3 mana. Yes, it is a temporary power boost, but a significant one that should not be taken lightly. This card is a game ender, plain and simple. And lastly, we have the grand reveal of Fearbrand. I'll give you a moment to adjust your eyes to what is where exactly on this Great Drake. Fearbrand has 3 winding tails, 4 wings of chaotic energy, and 8 scythed arms. Its design is truly chaotic by nature, and it will be the powerhouse of Chaos decks with its mighty 4 shard summoning cost. Chaos creatures in set 1 haven't exceeded 2 shards, so this added muscle is essential to make Chaos a competitive force in set 2. Now, what is game breaking about Fearbrand's effect, Omnitrotic State, is that when the creature is on the field, both Extropy and Entropy states are active at once. For most Chaos creatures, their effect depends on the state of the field. So say this random creature's Entropy effect gives the creature a +1 attack, and the Extropy would give it a +1 block. When Fearbrand is present on the field, this other creature would gain both the attack and the defense simultaneously. Now, this very powerful effect means we have to pay extra close attention to all Chaos creatures because the potential to create something game breaking is almost too easy when this creature is present on the field. The one thing I can guarantee from this card is that Fearbrand will usher in a new age of Chaos in Shard TCG. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed the 5 new card reveals. I really need to speed up the card making process because these reveals are leaving very few to actually be hidden for the proper release of set 2 when it finally comes out. But as always, don't forget to leave a like on this video, and if you're new, don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this if you've enjoyed it. And I'll hope to see you next time. Goodbye.